So when I start my calls and I do the introduction, I usually focus a little bit more on just kind of walking through the resume as opposed to kind of like telling a story. Like I feel it's just more relevant and it makes more sense in the eyes of the people I talk to usually. Like I feel like it's been more effective, but when I do that, it kind of almost feels too work oriented. Does that if that makes sense? I was wondering if I don't know, like I could deliver mine super quick and like maybe get your thoughts on like if it's too like professionally oriented or if I need to add like something more personal.
So this is your elevator pitch?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, sure. What is it? Let's go through it.
sure. Yeah. So I'd say I'm originally from the Bay Area, kind of in the Silicon Valley, Palo Alto region. And growing up, I was always really interested in strategy and kind of growing things, doing projects that eventually turned into me starting my own business, really grew that out through high school. Had a great time with that, went to Stern. At Stern, I did a internship at a kind of later stage startup tech SaaS type company. And while I was there, I became really interested in the overall strategy and kind of trajectory of the business because they were trying to get acquired. From there, really took that interest, did a search fund focusing on the types of companies that I'd previously interned at, kind of tech related companies. Really enjoyed that. Wanted to get more into my understanding of banking, did a boutique last fall, focusing on a lot of M&A transactions. And this semester, I'm doing a hedge fund, doing an equity research role. And this summer, I plan on kind of taking my interest in banking and doing a tech facing boutique out in Palo Alto that focuses on a lot of really interesting crypto deals. And they're doing a lot of really interesting things in that space.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean in terms of you said being like too professionally oriented, right?
Yeah.
I think that the issue with that is not. I think the issue with what you just said is I don't know. It was is that how you is that pretty close to how you usually say it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. I think the issue with it is that it's how do I say this? It's there's no like there's not much of a narrative, right? Like when I listen to it, it doesn't really feel like I'm. It doesn't really feel like you're telling me your story. It feels more like it's almost like you just have your resume in front of you, and then you're just rattling off like each of the things that you've done. There's no what I call like connective tissue, which is you're saying like, here's a laundry list item of all the things I've done. Whereas like typically what we tell people, what we tell you guys to do is like, you want to have, there should be like a logical progression through your story. And by progression, I mean like, okay, you started out point A. How did you get from point A to point B? And how did you get from point, not even just how, but also like more importantly, why? Why did you go from point A to point B? And then why did you go from point B to point C, then point C to point D? And eventually like wherever the latest stop is like, okay, like now that brings me to where I am today, which is like trying to break into investment banking, right? And so for example, for you, like maybe point A is the fact that you started your own business back when you were, in high school or something, right? I think that's like one of the first things you brought up. And then I forgot what was the second thing you said. Is like I think you skipped straight from that to like then you went to Stern or something, right? But
Yeah.
there's no like if I were to connect those two things, I would have like maybe said like I started out. I've always been very entrepreneurial. Started a business when I was in high school. Maybe describe the business at a very high level. I started a business that does X Y Z in high school. Through that experience, I don't know, maybe learn X Y Z things, or I realized that I was really I don't know. I'm gonna make this. Through that experience, I realized I was like really lacking knowledge in X Y Z areas, which made me want to major, which made me want to like major in business when I went to college. And so because of that, I decided to go to Stern, which is has like one of the top undergraduate business programs in the country. And when I got to Stern, you know, to basically like learn more about whatever the XYZ thing you were trying to learn. In addition to taking the classes in school, I figured the best way to actually learn about those things would be to go out and get some hands-on experience. And so I went out and found, my first real internship at I don't know, ABC firm doing blah blah blah, right? And then at that place, I, got to work on project blah, right? Whatever project. And from there, because of XYZ thing that happened, that led me to like the next thing. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Though, it's like you got to connect the dots with them, and like what people are wanting to see is like, why did you make the decisions you made, and do these things that you've been doing actually make sense, right? Like, can I understand how you got to where you are today? Is there a logical progression, right? Usually you're going to tell that story chronologically versus just saying, okay, so I did this, and then I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and there's no explanation as to like why you did all those things. Like, the what is not that interesting. The what is like, I can read your resume myself. I want to know the why. I want to know the stuff that like I can't glean from just looking at your resume on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, got that.
Hey there, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more customized advice that's tailored for your specific situation, then I invite you to book a free strategy session with our team at the link below. We'll talk to you soon.